the main thing is regarding your space is about choosing the right lens. And you can pick several lenses depending on several things, but in general, you need to think about how wide the lens is. And especially, we need to understand that the aperture of the lens is what makes it look very professional. So in general, there are two types of lenses. One is zoom lens and one is a prime lens. Zoom lenses are very versatile, but they're used and they're very useful when you're outdoor and you need more different focal length with the same lens. But in studio, you don't change the position of the camera whatsoever. So you want to get a prime lens. This is because prime lenses, they have a much lower aperture number, which creates this bouquet effect. Aperture is also identified with an F. So let's say f1.4, f1.8, f2.8. Prime lenses, they can go down to f1.2. Right now, I'm using a 24 millimeter f1.4. But then if you use a zoom lens, I think the minimum you can go down to is f2.8, which is still okay. But then if you go for a cheaper lens, you might go down only to f3.5 or f5.6, which is not enough to have this professional bouquet effect. So I'm in focus right now, but everything else in the background is autofocus because I'm using an f1.4 and I'm very close. Generally, if you have a very, very, very small space, I would use a wide lens. So I would call it a 24 millimeter or maybe a 35 millimeter. But if you have potentially a little bit of a bigger space, or you have a bit more depth in your room, you can use a 50 millimeter. And this will allow you to blur the background even more and compress the background even more. So a wide lens will allow you to take more of the background in case you need to stay very, very close to the background. But then if you can move a little bit more away from the background, then you can use maybe a 50 millimeter. And therefore, because it's more compressed, you will need actually a smaller portion of the background to be on camera. I know that this is quite complicated. In the course, I show all the different examples with all the different lenses, just so that people can understand exactly, because it's kind of like it applies to different rooms with different lenses for different people. And then also what's important regarding the background is that, first of all, the most important thing is like whenever you want to analyze a room to then create a studio, you want to try to identify the spot that has the most depth and where you can actually stay as far as possible from the background. So this what creates depth, staying as far as possible from the background. And I can still see today a lot of people, they just try to create videos and then they literally touch the wall behind them with their back. And that's like the biggest mistake, one of the biggest mistakes that I see. So try to stay as far as possible from the background, and then automatically it will be better because you will create that separation, that bouquet effect that makes it look very professional. In terms of the background, as I said, there are a billion different options that you can choose. And in general, you want to light up the background. So most people, they just use maybe good elements in the background, but then they don't add any lights. As we analyzed before, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 lights in the background. So this is key to create that separation. So we are lighting up the background separately from myself. So you can use, again, things that you have in your house. You don't have to buy professional stuff unless you want to and you want to really take it to the next level to light up the background. But the key light on you needs to be professional because of the quality of light. Then regarding items, I've created backgrounds, again, in any space, even with very, very simple items. Most likely, you just need a floor lamp and one plant. This would create already an amazing effect. So plants are usually a constant element in my backgrounds because they just look so good. Then obviously you can use potentially a bookshelf where you can add items on top of it. You can use textured elements. So in this case, on my side, I have the window that is covered with blackout curtains. And this is also why it looks really nice, because there is one side that has texture and then I have a plain wall on the opposite side to then create that contrast. Then another element that you should think about is symmetry and balance. So I see a lot of people potentially putting a plant on one side and then leaving it completely empty on the other side. This doesn't work because our eyes love symmetry and balance. So if you analyze again my studio right now, I have a bigger plant on one side with a small bed lamp. And then on the other side, I have a floor lamp, which is a little bit bigger, and a smaller plant. So big plant versus floor lamp and small plant. So these elements kind of balance themselves out. Then because on this side, where I have the big plant is a little bit emptier on the top area, then I placed this small rig torch that creates the window effect. So this is how I think about my background. Try to find balance between right and left hand side, try to find texture, and if I can, a little bit of symmetry.